Hello Pisces, this is going to be your November read. Before we begin, Neptune, Uranus, and Chiron will all be retrograding for the entire month. And if this reading moves you and you would like to donate, that information is in the About section. Too many. So, Pisces, nothing came up for you in the pre-shuffle. So whatever you have here, this was the energy that was meant for you this month. Pisces, the Devil card has been coming up an awful lot for you in your reads. So if there is something energetically or physically that you are not dealing with, and it's inspired by emotion or addiction, codependency, that will be something that you will have to take a look at some point in November. Now, on the other hand, there's a problem here with relationships. Two people that are not seeing eye to eye. And there's definitely a breakup here, but it's a little complicated. You may be missing the person for reasons that, well, let's look. Pisces, a lot of confusion here in November. You may have felt like you made an offer to someone and they really should have taken it very quickly, but there's something underlying all of this. It looks to me as if whatever you offered wasn't really something logical that they could latch onto. The offers were basically, there was no good offer on the table. They were all these sort of fluffy promises that the other person was bound to reject because it looks like you are in two different places. You, Pisces typically function in an air of this sort of dreamscape, and I know they get that rap and they get very upset about it. However, the reason that that is problematic is that they don't always plan in a way, they're the people that come up with the concepts, but they're not really great at the details and really bringing them out of that dreamscape down to reality so that they can be executed. So they're great at saying, let's get married, let's have 1,000,000 children, let's build this business that's bigger than anything that's been seen. But in order to bring that idea down into the 3D, that's where they sort of drop off the map. And that can be frustrating. So it looks to me like at some point recently you made an offer like that to someone, and for you thought this was amazing. You thought that they would also see the value in these offers, and this other person was trying to let you know that that wasn't anything they could bring into their world unless there was something really physically on the table for them to latch onto. And I think this was very upsetting for you. You may have felt like your only option was to walk away. And it looks like you're missing this person, but there's a lot of intimacy on the table. So, you may be missing that access to them, that access into their emotion. Physically, you may be missing them. And you really felt that walking away was your only option. The part of the problem here, Pisces, is your ability to only see things one way. Partnership, whether it's business or romantic, there has to be a real open door to receive. And it's not looking like you were capable of that particular portion. You weren't really ready to let this person in. You were willing to give them verbal support, or let them know that eventually down the line you would have been available, but yeah. That really didn't work out, and they may have wandered emotionally or physically, or you may have, but if you wandered, it was really because you felt like you were offering the best thing possible for them. It may have been because they were just holding a torch for something that you couldn't deliver in person. For some of you, this was absolutely a third-party situation. It really infected and destroyed the happiness that you could have had. Yeah, it looks like there was just no thought put into the longevity of this situation. There were no real plans made. There was nothing concrete. There were no steps. There were no milestones. If you were the one who went to a third party, it doesn't look like there's even any satisfaction here. It's not that you were willing to give up this third party, give up your real relationship for this third party. These are all just ways for you to avoid true intimacy. It's a protective mechanism. And it's also a way to control the other person emotionally by promising them things, which I think, you may have meant. So, Pisces, you've had a lot of really strong readings. You may have gotten to the point, based on some of the readings I've done for you recently, where you were just tired of putting into this relationship. For others of you, this was a situation where you never put any real thought into it in terms of where it was going, adjusting it as you went along. You really needed to have your own way here. For others of you, this was a situation that was just burning up so much emotional energy that you were looking for a Band-Aid. And in your opinion, the Band-Aid was to just make promises with no real intention behind them. And the other person, got tired of waiting. Again, there's just so much of this polarity. You were not on the same page. I think you knew you were upsetting this person. You didn't mean to upset this person. This could be the other way around. This could have been someone making promises to you. Certainly this could have been someone doing this to you where they were just making promises, but there was no follow-through. There's just nothing here to ground the relationship. It's just sort of floating from one day into the next week, into the next year. But there's nothing saying, well, we're here now, let's think about moving in. We're here now, let's think about marriage. We're here now, let's think about investing in property or joining our finances. There's just really nothing. And as this is continuing on, someone is getting more and more upset. You're just going in circles with promises and nothing else. This person is reassuring you they care for you, but somebody here does not see the problems that they are causing. The relationship, just goes from hot to cold. It's just a mess. So, Pisces, for you in November, I would love to see some reevaluation for you about what it is you really need and if this relationship can fulfill it. That requires getting very honest with yourself about who you are and what you are willing to give someone else. If this person requires a long-term commitment and that's just not where you are, you may have to consider just letting this situation go. If they want a casual situation and you don't, you have to be honest with yourself. You have in the near future in success, and I think, as I was talking about you being realistic, that's where this success will come from. And, you may have it in the next couple of months, but I think you would have to get really clear about pulling away from this situation so you can begin to heal. Or having an honest conversation with this person about what it is that you need and what you are willing to give. A lot of people miss that step. And I think this will put you on the path to some really beautiful things coming for the new year. Pisces, as always, I want you to have the very best November. Leave your comments below and be supportive and loving to each other. We'll talk to you soon.